Madam Glam, please come to the front. Madam Glam, to the front. I constantly get comments like this because I only crap on the affordable brands and never the pricier or pro brands, and that's because they hadn't really given me a reason to. Until now. See, in my quest to gather SDS sheets for my master SDS document, I've been receiving SDSs from all different brands. One that I definitely did not expect to be on there though is Madam Glam, because they have been notorious for not ever sharing their SDS. Well, I finally got my hands on them and now I understand why. Whew, let's settle in for this one because we have a lot to go over. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Ren. I developed an allergy to HEMA, HEA, HPMA, and acrylomorpholine back in October of 2024 and refused to give up gel polishes, so went on a full deep dive on allergies, chemicals, brands, and formulations, and have come on here to share that with you guys to promote allergy awareness. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Now, let's get into it. So first of all, I really struggle to put a brand in the pro category that refuses to give out an SDS, because how can you possibly professionally use that brand correctly if you don't have an SDS on hand, which is required per OSHA regulation? Now, there has already been some controversy around this company, primarily because of their scammy VIP program, because let's be real, the prices for this brand are absolutely asinine. Unless you subscribe to their VIP program, which still makes the polish about $13 or $14 a bottle, which is about average price for a pro brand. On top of that, they have a ton of complaints from the Business Bureau for not allowing people to cancel their VIP subscriptions. However, in my opinion, their most heinous offense is their lack of transparency with the SDS. However, now I understand why they didn't want to give this to anybody. But of course, y'all are the MVPs here, and one of the besties was very persistent until finally it seemed like she just got an employee that didn't care, and it looked like they just file dumped their entire SDS folder, including stuff from 2020. And one of those from 2020 particularly stood out to me, and we'll be going over it soon. And you're probably wondering, why the heck do we care about something from 2020? Because that formula still existed at one point, and what the heck is going on here? I do have all of them in here, but in the SDS master document, you will only find the recent ones because those are the only pertinent ones. The names that you see here, I named those myself after going through the files because they just had like generic names or like collection 092, whatever. This is the first red flag, right? Does this look familiar? Yeah, because all of the cheap gel companies use this exact same format with the blue MSDS letters going across. And then of course we have the super generic naming. And this one is named all right, but you will notice in future ones like how generic the naming is. So immediately I look at this and I'm thinking I'm looking at an SDS for like Melody Susie or Model Ones, because that's actually exactly what they look like. But herein lies the bigger problem. Hydroxyclohexylphenylketone, that is HCPK. That is a photo-initiator. 30%. Is that even chemically possible? But then you have another photo-initiator, 17%, with 30% trimethylpropane triacrylate. Now, if you've seen the interview that Chrisania did with Doug Schoon, where he mentions that typically photo-initiator ranges is like 1 to 5%, with 5 being on the higher end for really dark pigmented colors. And when you have too much photo-initiator, what will happen is the top layer will cure very quickly, but the rest of the product won't cure. So how the heck is this even chemically feasible? So I'm really hoping that this is just a big mistake and that this wasn't actually the formula for their milky gels in 2020. So yikes. Now moving on, let's look at something a little more recent. And another notable thing is that there is no photo-initiator. We've seen this with other cheap brands, but this is not a cheap brand. All right, so here we have, this is from 2023, NYSDJ Clear. Not really sure what that is. Product name, again, generic soak-off gel polish. While this one is in exact percentages, you don't typically see that because usually companies want to protect their proprietary formulas, but I do love when they do this because it makes it easier. So we have 60% acrylic polymer and then 20% hydroxypropyl methacrylate. then 10% isobornyl methacrylate. So we have a total of 30% methacrylate monomer. There are cheap brands out here with significantly less monomers in their formulas. So that's a choice. Y'all know I'm a huge Polygel girly, and I've been really curious about their Polygel because I looked into it, but it's like $40 and I'm not paying that for a Polygel. So let's see if the formula is worth $40. We've got acrylate copolymer 30 to 55%, trimethylpropane triacrylate 32 to 40%, and then ethyl methacrylate 28 to 35%, and polymethyl methacrylate 10 to 30%. Wow. And then all the way down here, we've got TPO at 0 to 1%. This is why it's important for formulas to be tested with a proper lamp. And I don't know if Madam Glam has done testing. I know they have their own lamp. And if they have, I would love to see that. Okay, now this one is from 2024. So we're getting into a little bit more recent territory. And this is their nude builder gels. 60 to 70% isobornomethacrylate. I don't think I've ever seen a product that is primarily monomer. Usually you have some sort of polymer or oligomer blend that makes up the majority of the product, with your monomers kind of being in the middle to the bottom. 60 to 70% is wild. But then you have HCPK as the Photo-Initiator at 0.1 to 0.5. Madam, what on earth? I've never seen this. Now, I'm not allergic to Iboma, but I probably would be if I started using this regularly. Moving on. So now we have their base coat, 20 to 40 hydroxypropyl methacrylate. That is high, especially for a base coat. Now, you have to keep in mind that a base coat is going directly on your nail plate. When it is the first layer on your nail, you want it to be something that is a little lower in monomer content. So 20 to 40 is just a tad high for my taste, but y'all do what you want. And then we have ethyl trimethylbenzoyl phenylphosphonate at 5 to 15%. Again, remember what Doug Schoon said about having too much Photo-Initiator. And even though this is a base coat, as it states up here, the product name is just Soak Off Gel Polish, as it has been in like almost every other SDS we've looked at. Moving along, this is their 2025 Builder Gel. We've got 55 to 75% acrylate copolymer and then 28% flat Iboma. Man, they really love Iboma in this company. This isn't the worst, but just personal preference for me. I like it when the monomer number is under 20, preferably under 15. All right, now let's look at the 2025 color. 55 to 75% copolymer and 30% hydroxypropyl methacrylate. Again, I've talked about HPMA before. I actually react worse to HPMA than HEMA. HEMA and HPMA are nearly identical, and 30%. Like, that's just unnecessary for a gel that costs $14. I've seen better formulated Amazon polishes, and that's saying a lot. Okay, so here's the 2025 Polygel, and it is a little better than the 2023, but still not great. All right, and last but not least, we have the top coat. 30 to 60% acrylic copolymer, tricyclic decane dimethanol diacrylate. First I've heard of that. Let's learn about it together. Okay, so a high-performance, low-viscosity, difunctional acrylate monomer used primarily in UV curable coatings. Okay, tricyclodecane dimethanol diacrylate is a common acrylate monomer known to cause allergic contact dermatitis and skin sensitization. Now, it doesn't say how sensitizing it is. All acrylate monomers are sensitizing. And we know that just based on the research, and it even says it right here, that the biggest offenders are HEMA and HPMA. And then again, we have 5 to 15% Photo-Initiator. As always, it's never easy to tell just off of an SDS sheet whether the product is great or curing or not, but we do know what average numbers look like. And that is why it is important to go with companies that have tested their formulas with their lamps and can guarantee you that they are curing, because otherwise we are just guessing one way or another. Well, I know that was a lot, but this one really had to be talked about because when a company is being shady and they're hiding things, there's usually a reason. And that's why it's important to always do your own research. And now, one of the issues that I have with all this, right, is that Madam Glam has put out multiple articles on nail allergies and kind of touted themselves as a better option. And I mean, here's this article, Say Bye Bye HEMA, where they talk about how they got rid of that toxic ingredient and that, you know, this kind of exposure to these allergens can harm your skin and nails. Meanwhile, they are adding ingredients that are just as bad in fairly high concentrations. And this right here, folks, is the epitome of HEMA-free doesn't equal good. Because a lot of these companies have just replaced the HEMA with other monomers that are just as allergenic, like HPMA. So between their shady and borderline scammy VIP program, their high pricing while having the formula of a $5 Amazon polish, and on top of that, their lack of transparency about it, makes me give this company quite the side eye. Also, I didn't start getting their ads until after I filmed this video because, of course, our phones are always listening, but I found it incredibly odd that they just love flooded cuticles in their ads and even implying that a client deserves flooded cuticles if they're only paying $20 for the manicure. Weird. So what do you guys think? Have you used Madam Glam? What has your experience with it been? Because over on Reddit, I've seen a lot of allergic girlies say that they tried this company because they thought it was allergy friendly and they still got a reaction. But based on these ingredients, now we know why. I want to hear your opinion in the comments below, especially if you've used this brand, what your experience with it has been. And what do you guys think? Should I try this for myself? High levels of iboma and other monomers just make me really weary to put this stuff on my fingers, but I haven't decided yet if I'm going to try it or not. We'll see. Actually, I just remembered the Polygel's $40, so never mind. That was all for this one. I'm sorry that I know it was very talkative and long, but sometimes these videos are necessary, especially when it comes to talking about companies and ingredient transparency. And this is why SDS transparency is so important, because this is professional brands and even used in some salons. And if people knew that they are using a polish that basically has the same formula as an Amazon polish, then maybe they wouldn't buy it. So that's why I think SDS transparency is important. As always, if you aren't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss any of my future videos. I think I will be trying the Macart Polygel since I have been asked quite a bit about that one. And y'all know I always love an excuse to try some polygel. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with me and I will see you in the next one.